We cut to Sierra's house, where she's sneaking down an empty hallway toward her husband's private quarters, trying not to make a sound. Her heart's pounding, her breath ragged. She just found out her friend Valetta betrayed her, all tied up in the Bosbin family's sneaky schemes. At the door, Sierra hears heavy breathing and strange moans coming from deep inside the room. She sees Valetta kissing her husband hungrily, and when their eyes meet, Valetta isn't even embarrassed. Anger flares in Sierra, but it's not just about her husband's betrayal. It's the way Valletta's family is tearing apart her guild. Valetta smirks and asks why Sierra showed up early. She throws a silk robe over her shoulders and casually asks why Sierra's giving her the icy stare. Sierra, full of hate, stares at her without blinking. Won't show any weakness. She takes a deep breath, realizing she can't stand for the Bosbin family's threats to her guild any longer. Her thoughts drift to her dead parents, faces frozen forever in that big family portrait. She remembers crying in front of it once, unable to handle the loss, while her loyal maid tried to comfort her. All that's left from her parents is that carved, ornate box she treasures above everything. Now she realizes she's lost almost everything. Friends, family, fame, wealth, reputation, even her own husband. She speaks to Valetta in a cold, furious voice, while Valetta stays perfectly calm, as if Sierra's not even talking. With desperation in her voice, Sierra demands to know if Valletta's satisfied now that she's destroyed her life completely. But Valetta isn't satisfied yet. Sierra still has something she's determined to take. With a smirk, she says Sierra has no clue what surprises are waiting for her. She strides over to Sierra's secret chest, opens it, and scoffs, calling her always naive. Sierra watches in shock. Stunned, Valetta managed to get into her most private possession. Sierra's eyes fill with terror, her hands tremble, and sweat beads on her face as fear takes hold. Lady Bosbin looks totally confident she can crush whatever of Sierra's life is left. She sneers, "Did you really think that chest was safe just because of your little connection to the Archbishop?" She mocks, "Without the Bosbin name, all your efforts mean nothing, no matter how hard you try." Desperate, Sierra shouts, "Give me back my chest! I know I've got nothing left to lose!" But Valetta smirks. "You still have one thing left. Your fancy necklace, shining around your neck." This necklace was a gift from some mysterious guy. No one knows who he is yet, but clearly, he's going to matter soon. Sierra can't grasp why Valletta's so obsessed with this trinket. She'd even mock her dead parents over it. To Lady Bosbin, the necklace isn't about its price. It's about the fact that it belongs to you, and only you. Pieces it together in her mind. Valletta's obsession with her is way deeper than it seemed. Sierra takes a bold step forward and declares, "Take it then!" Valletta smirks, satisfied and smug. She slowly but confidently heads toward her friend, who's still clutching the box that means everything to her. Sierra's face twists into a furious, unhinged rage, replacing calm with a feral, almost crazy anger. Screaming, she demands they return her parents, hinting the box holds the ashes of her loved ones. Valetta panics, totally clueless about what Sierra's planning or what she's even trying to achieve. She fights back with everything she's got, but Sierra suddenly screams in pain. Blood blooms across her body, marking a deep wound that nearly knocks her out cold. Turns out, her husband swung the sword. He'd been shouting, "Stop!" all along, but she didn't listen. Losing her balance, Sierra crashes onto the balcony, clawing at the railing as Valetta dashes into her husband's arms. Her last fight drains away. Her eyes glaze over, her soul hollow. Looking back, Sierra realizes she's been lied to, manipulated, and used, losing everything she loved. A flicker of hope flares. Clinging to the railing, she forces herself up. Valetta and her husband finally spot Sierra's move. Lady Bosbin's worry turns obvious. Sierra decides to end her torment. She steps over the railing, ready to finish her story. Valetta panics, screaming Sierra's name. Terrified she'll lose her forever, Sierra calmly plunges into the icy water, saying goodbye to a life of agony. But right then, she hears a stranger's voice saying she can't escape a key figure in her life. The voice insists they'll start over, rewind her fate, and yank her free will away. Sierra's stunned. No idea who dares mess with her life and steal the peace she's craved. The voice, ignoring her screams and pleas, coldly commands her to accept her fate and bend to this new reality. Despite her last-second resistance, her mind flickers out, and she vanishes into nothingness. She wakes up in a carriage, Valette beside her like none of it ever happened. Sierra's totally baffled, stays quiet, won't answer Valette's questions. It makes Valette suspicious. It hits her. Somehow, she's back in her younger body, before all her life's tragedies. Looking back, she realizes Valette's been copying her moves, style, clothes, hobbies, everything. Take that one time she got obsessed with a brooch her friend owned. Valette wanted to mimic her so hard, she'd stalk her down to find where she got that piece. Assuming Valette's copycatting was just overzealous loyalty, she never saw the mirror image for what it was. Soon, people were whispering. It wasn't Valette, they said, but Sierra copying here. Pretty soon, society labeled her a fraud, a fake. She didn't act fast enough to stop it. Now she's just a ghost of Valetta de Bosbin. She didn't want to be part of the social scene anymore, and her parents quietly comforted her. Sierra cut ties with the parties in Valetta, throwing herself into the heir's education. Her family was loaded, with vast land and mines, so Sierra's business smarts were right on point. But suddenly, the Bosbin clan went after the Brilickson family like a storm. Bosbin's clan leader filed a lawsuit over a contract signed 3 centuries ago. Worse, they had the backing of the finance and justice ministers. The original contract between the Brilickson founder and Duke Bosbin was so poorly worded, it left room for 2 interpretations. Sierra's dad was tearing his hair out. He'd only noticed this now, after Bosbin had already moved in. Now, faced with Bosbin's total power, the Brilicksons' wealth didn't mean squat. Every day, her parents looked more crushed, not knowing how to fight back. Then Valetta showed up, sobbing and vowing to help the Brilickson family. She's trying to convince Sierra she's on her side, playing the sincere card, begging her friend to trust her, and the battered heroine finally starts to warm up to her. After that, Valetta vanished, and like magic, the lawsuit was dropped. A happy ending to 6 months of non-stop stress for the Brilickson family. Sierra truly thanked Lady Bosbin with deep gratitude, seeing her help as invaluable and life-saving for their family. Back then, she had no idea how naive she was. Valetta's so-called help had been nothing but a well-planned facade. Naturally, things between them quickly went back to normal, and Sierra and Valetta started hanging out again. Meanwhile, people began whispering behind Lady Brilicks's back, but she could never reclaim the reputation she'd lost. After some time, Sierra tried to distance herself from Valetta, but by then, Valetta was already moving against her in secret. Putting the pieces together, Sierra finally saw the truth about her so-called friend. Valetta's obsession was so intense, she'd never let Sierra and her family walk away so easily. Now we jump ahead to Sierra's new life. As she rides in a carriage, chatting with Valetta, Sierra's trying to figure out what the hell happened after she got yanked into this new life, and whose voice she heard just before dying. But panic shuts her brain down, and all she hears is her heart hammering in her chest. Lady Bosbin, sitting across from her, asks how she's feeling, trying her best to sound genuine and caring. Raising her eyes, Sierra locks onto her friend's face. Those eyes are full of worry, yet painfully familiar. In them, she sees the ghost of the woman who tormented her, broke her family, and pushed her to the grave. To pin down exactly when she is, Sierra decides to check the details of her current situation. She learns Valetta is 18 now, which means she's 7 years in the past. Sierra realizes just how hard her friend worked to destroy her. Bitterness rises in her throat. She feels it's unfair. Some mysterious someone dragging her through this nightmare all over again. She's done letting go of her precious family and everything she loves. No more. Inside her, a fire of devastation burns. The thought of losing it all again and dying terrifies her. This time, she's not letting Veli decide her fate. She's going to change everything. Keeping her voice steady, she tells her friend she's fine and thanks her for caring. But deep down, she knows she'll do whatever it takes to end Veli, forever. 7 years had passed since then. To Sierra, the memories are all foggy. She asks her friend where exactly they're heading. Turns out they're going to a banquet hosted by one of the Bosbin family's loyal allies. She can't remember if there was anything memorable about it. Still, something about it doesn't sit right with her. Veli's all smiles and nerves, excited for the banquet. She's been plotting something clever and sneaky, and she's about to pull the trigger. The girls were dressed almost exactly the same, which could spark another wave of nasty rumors. Veli starts prying. When is Sierra finally going to tell her the truth about the necklace? The jewelry's the one the master gave her, but it's still unclear if it was the clan head or that mysterious stranger. Turns out Valetta has been obsessed with getting her hands on that necklace for ages. She's been fixated on it for years. Sierra decides to toy with Valetta's curiosity and tells her she'll spill all the secrets, but only if she keeps it under wraps. The second Valetta hears she's got to dig up the stone herself, she immediately throws a fit about it. But Sierra cooked this up on purpose to yank her friend out of the city, even just for a little while. The girls finally reach the banquet venue and step into the party hall, buzzing with holiday vibes. Sierra spots the Marquis, everyone at the party's scrambling to get into his good books. Makes sense. He's not just some highborn princeling, but a total big shot on the Western Front. Right then, Sierra remembers one more VIP is supposed to show up at the party. The second she gets that thought, the crowd erupts. Duke Rippleton's making his grand entrance. Tall, icy aristocrat look, platinum hair. He's the total magnet for eyes. High society calls him the Phantom Duke. Keeps to himself, rarely graces public events. Even Sierra, who's heard every rumor under the sun, is seeing him for the first time with her own eyes. He ran a territory with a reputation for lousy roads and deadly monsters. Even the royal family couldn't do a thing about it. Definitely not their favorite problem. The Rippleton clan wiped out the monsters, cleaned up the mess, and got the emperor so happy he handed them their fancy title. Members of this family were such rare guests at social events that their appearance always caused a stir. Valetta approaches Sierra to see how she's doing. and she smiles and admits the wine was amazing. Valetta, clearly pleased with the answer, grins even wider. No doubt she's had a few too many already. Sierra can't miss it, since Valetta only ever drinks when Sierra takes a glass herself. But tonight, Sierra hasn't had a single sip, which looks weird. Valetta openly admits her head spinning from the wine and all the tension. Sierra quickly grabs a servant and tells her to take her friend to an empty room for some rest. This gives Sierra a rare chance to be alone with her thoughts. She knows that when Valetta's around, it's hard to focus. This moment is especially precious. Suddenly, memories of what happened here at this banquet last time start flooding back to Sierra. That's where she met her husband, the man who later betrayed her alongside Valetta. Vivid, painful memories of their life together start coming back to her. She especially remembers the moment he drove his sword through her, without hesitation, to protect his mistress. A guy named Leighton Blackia suddenly approaches Sierra and asks how she's doing with fake friendly charm. Sierra takes a breath, politely thanks him, and greets Leighton with controlled calm. This guy's always been all about boosting the Bosbin family's status, so he's been trying every angle to butter them up. Leighton casually notices Sierra didn't seem to care for the wine, but she acts like she didn't hear him. He drops a hint that he could treat her to something special from his fancy collection if she wanted. Back then, Sierra would have accepted with thanks, thinking his generosity was real and heartfelt. Now, she's totally indifferent, just flat out declines, saying that kind of thing doesn't interest her anymore. Even dares to clarify if the offer was meant for her, or more likely, Valetta. Hearing that unexpected question, Leighton literally freezes, struggling to keep his friendly smile. But his expression tightens, like his forced grin can't hide his growing irritation anymore. Awkward silence drops, clearly not something he was expecting or ready for. Sierra tries to break the tension, flashing a soft smile and saying she was just kidding. Leighton jumps on board, awkwardly quipping that of course, Sierra means more to him than anyone else. But then he trips himself up, adding he'd also be happy to see Valetta wrecking his own act. Sierra fights to keep her smile in place, smothering the sarcasm bubbling under the surface. She thanks Leighton for his concern, but adds Valletta's already had too much and's currently resting. In that moment, Sierra silently kicks herself for not getting this guy sooner. Leighton tries to steer the conversation, hinting that Sierra might feel awkward talking to him without her friend around. Sierra, though, smiles and suggests setting up a 3-person meetup next time, so everyone can chat more comfortably. After Leighton leaves, Sierra strolls the hall at her own pace, savoring the quiet and solitude. Suddenly, she notices quiet whispers behind her and spots 2 girls clearly gossiping about her. Sure enough, their attention is drawn to Sierra and Valletta's matching outfits, sparking another wave of rumors. Lady Brilickson feels a pang of sadness, hearing once more how awkwardly her friend imitates her. In her past life, society's judgment caused her endless pain and left deep scars. Even if she tried to defend herself, no one ever believed her, leaving the situation hopeless. But now, she's got a chance to change her fate, so she decides to march straight up to the gossips. The girls, seeing her approach, confidently insist they were just having a casual conversation, but Sierra immediately calls them out for lying. Her words leave the girls stunned and flinching. She mocks them, adding they're not pathetic enough to waste their time on pointless gossip. Then, keeping her tone sharp, she gives them straight advice. Keep your mouth shut in public if you want to avoid trouble. She doesn't hesitate to openly threaten anyone spreading rumors about her, completely intimidating the girls. Feeling like the total winner, Lady Brilickson says goodbye with a proud wave and strides away. The girls exchange uneasy glances, not knowing how to react. Sierra's never looked this ruthless before. Their faces show clear irritation and annoyance at Sierra's behavior here, especially the brunette, who apparently got a kick out of tormenting Lady Brilickson. Sierra heads to the lounge, feeling a headache building, and wearily plops onto the couch. Watching how Leighton treats her, she reminds herself the events of her past life were real. Now she knows things can't go back to how they were before. There's no returning to what came before. Sierra realizes she needs to be strong enough to never again fall under others' control. But suddenly, loud voices erupt, like a noisy lover's fight. Sierra jumps up from the couch, hearing Valletta's voice from the balcony. Though she should be asleep after her drinking binge, the conversation's about some major promise Duke Bosbin supposedly made back then, and then it hits her. She recognizes the second person in Valletta's chat, his voice sharp with anger. It's Arden Rippleton, accusing the Duke of planning to break an old contract over his daughter. But Valetta smugly fires back she couldn't care less about family promises, arms crossed and scoffing. She's certain Bosbin's in a position to renege on every vow he ever made. Meanwhile, the Rippletons have nothing but monster-filled, dangerous land to their name. Sierra remembers she had no clue about this contract in her past life, so she's determined not to miss a single detail. But she's horrified to see just how terrifying Valetta can be. Using threats to scare Arden, Rippleton fires back with accusations of her being crazy and clueless. Hard to argue there. Sierra realizes this isn't some lover's spat. It's a high-stakes business showdown. She wants them to keep talking. More info means more leverage for her. But before she can savor the gossip, Duke Rippleton's voice slams out behind her, startling Sierra cold. He sneers at her eavesdropping, calling her a woman with undignified hobbies. Ouch, that's a sting. Sierra can't believe her first chat with the Duke went this awkwardly wrong. She keeps her cool, vowing not to bolt, provided Arden moves his blocking hand. She calmly fires back. I'm not foolish enough to pick a fight with a Duke. Duke Rippleton demands her name, claims he's never laid eyes on her before. Sierra sways into a graceful curtsy, introduces herself, and drops a blessing that leaves him stunned. The Duke gapes. It's rare for nobles to bless folks. Sierra explains it's her way of wishing a good night. Arden cuts in. Eavesdropping still lousy behavior, no matter the excuse. Sierra immediately humbles herself with a sincere apology for her rude, disrespectful behavior. But the Duke's distrust isn't fading. He caught her hanging out on the balcony too long. She's trying to convince him she didn't catch anything important or secret. Sierra says she hid when she heard a heated argument between a man and a woman. Recognizing Valetta, she decided to stay out of it, scared of the fallout. Arden still suspects her, but he agrees to hear her out. Slowly, he starts trusting her, and Sierra feels a bit more at ease. But Arden reminds her to keep what she heard under wraps and act properly. His words make her laugh nervously, realizing her position and the warning. Back in her room, lying in bed, Sierra can't calm down after everything. Even though the banquet wasn't too wild, it still wiped her out. The day was stressful, and everything that happened was totally new to her. One unexpected encounter was talking to Arden Rippleton, a stranger to her before. Valietta's open argument with that man also threw Sierra for a loop. She realizes she needs more info to figure things out. Her parents are out of town for the mother's health, giving her total freedom. So Sierra grabs her personal knight and hits the road to dig up some answers. She storms into a tavern and immediately corners a guy working the bar. No time to waste. Turns out, she's not here for a meal or a drink. There's something way bigger on her mind. The guild's head honcho spots her right away and calls out her name. Sierra says she's here to buy some intel that could come in handy. Sure, info gathering ain't their main gig, but she knows they've got their ears to the ground. A guild thief girl gulps nervously, eyes locked on Sierra, clearly rattled. She tries sizing up the guest, looking for cracks in her confidence. But Sierra doesn't crack. If they don't hand over the goods, Sierra threatens to slap extra taxes on the guild's whole operation. But to dodge that, the guild can either offer a sweet payout or just give her what she wants. The guild rep instantly starts buttering her up, asking exactly what info Lady Brillicusson needs, obviously scared of her status. They lead Sierra to the guild's local boss. Turns out it's that same guy who greeted her at the bar. The guy looks way too smug about his secret identity and how smoothly this little meeting went. He drops the bombshell. They know Sierra's been digging into the Bosbin and Ripton family ties. Spilling that kind of info is no big deal for a guild leader. He cuts right to the chase. He starts by explaining that, years ago, these two families signed a marriage contract. The main goal was to merge their influence and power to overthrow the current ruler. One of the families was into illegal trading, letting them stay under the radar from the law. The Bosbons had nearly everything, but the Rippletons had one rare resource they couldn't live without. That resource? Demonic creatures the Rippletons were ruthlessly hunting to protect the Empire. Magical beast carcasses were hot commodities. Mages, shamans, alchemists, even regular folks were buying them. But hunting them was super dangerous, and their numbers were always limited, Sierra points out. The guild leader adds that nowadays, magical monsters are basically extinct. Bad news for the Rippletons. Selling those magical beast carcasses was their main cash cow, keeping their land afloat. But about 50 years ago, the Imperial family suddenly banned all magical creature trade and transport. Out of the blue, Sierra recalls reading about this exact law in her past life. The Rippletons scrambled to save their land, and the only ones who came through were the Bosbons. It was Bosbon Duke who stepped up during the crisis, keeping the Rippleton lands from starving. He supplied them with resources in exchange for magical creatures, binding the families with tough commitments. That commitment? A marriage between the two families, solidifying their alliance. But by then, the kids from both families were already married, so the weight of responsibility fell on the current Duke and Duchess. Sierra still can't figure out what's driving the Bosbins to take such risks over magical creatures. The guildmaster says there are rumors that Duke Bosbin's been secretly backing sorcerers for his own agenda. But he quickly adds that those are just rumors. You can't trust them without proof. After hearing that, Sierra's curiosity was totally satisfied, so she decided to leave the guild. She headed to the nearest cafe to meet Valetta, who was already there waiting for her. Valietta's clearly annoyed that Sierra can't focus, even with her right there, and keeps zoning out. Sierra smirks nervously, thinking Valietta's got a massive ego and always expects the spotlight. Valetta explains she didn't go herself to get the stone from the island. She sent someone else. Sierra's not happy. She wanted Valetta to personally leave the city, not just hand off the mission. Valetta insists there's nothing wrong with giving orders to others. She adds that she's not the one who has to do the dirty work when she's got underlings for that. Sierra can't get through to her. Valetta just smirks and cuts the conversation short. Sierra starts to realize just how much Valletta's changed and sees the real face she's been hiding. If things don't go Valletta's way, she turns controlling and starts bulldozing people she used to be nice to. Talking to Valletta is totally draining for Sierra. She's fed up with how she acts and just wants her to take off already so she can catch a break. Valletta tunes out Sierra's irritation and keeps smiling, staring her down like she's trying to read her emotions. She drops a bombshell. Marquis Spladia's throwing a banquet next month, and she's all too eager to spill the beans. It's open to all ranks of young nobles, and Valletta's practically glowing about it. She leans in, asking if Sierra's gonna attend. Sierra rolls her eyes. That thing? Please. It's not my scene. Total shock hits Valletta. She was dead sure Sierra had the hots for the Marquis after her reaction at the last event. She's convinced Sierra lit up when she saw him last time. And yeah, she always assumed there was major crush vibes going on. Sierra scoffs. Maybe in a past life. Now, the guy gives me the ick. Valletta goes quiet, her eyes narrowing with irritation. She cuts right to the chase. You're keeping something big from me, aren't you? Lady Bosbin folds her arms, all business. She's waiting for Sierra to spill her thoughts. No excuses. Sierra matches her glare and fires back. You're the one holding out on me, making me feel awkward. Valletta's caught off guard. She wasn't expecting this, and definitely wasn't ready for Sierra's rebuttal. Sierra brings up the incident from 2 days ago, the one Valletta totally blew off despite how big it was. She's got Valletta on the defensive now, pressing her. You remember what happened, right? Or are you just making this up? Sierra goes full-on interrogation. You've got a secret fiancé you haven't told me about, don't you? Valletta's face goes cold and hostile in an instant. Sure, Valetta tried to joke it off, saying she didn't get what I was talking about. But Sierra could tell her voice was seething when she denied those parental obligations. Valletta's deflecting, saying she was so wasted she can't remember the conversation to avoid any more questions. Sierra's caught off guard by the fiancé news. Why didn't Valetta spill this sooner? Big stuff, right? Maybe Valetta had her reasons, but Sierra's hurt. She thought they were tight and expected more trust. Sierra hadn't noticed they'd grown apart. This realization stings and confuses her. Valletta's shocked, stands to deny it, but Sierra cuts her off before she can explain. Sierra says she's got pressing business and tells Valetta to hit the road. No more talk. She turns on her heel and walks out, ignoring Valletta's yelling from behind like she's got nothing left to say. A polite goodbye, but Sierra's words feel more like a final send-off than a promise to meet again. Valletta's floored. Sierra, the usually quiet one, had just gone all cold and firm. Never saw it coming. Sierra, sitting in her office, suddenly recalls the rumors she heard in the guild. The ones about Duke Bosbin's daughter confirmed what Sierra already suspected about the family's plans. She learned Lady Bosbin flat out rejects the family contract, threatening their supply deals and trade. That supply deal meant to go to the Rippletons? Put on hold for years. Big consequences for everyone involved. Sierra starts wondering if the family ties are truly broken. Concludes it's likely unless the Bosbins change their stance. The guildmaster asks Sierra not to spread the info about where these rumors came from, because that could cause unwanted trouble for their organization. He also tells her not to raise taxes, since the guild is already barely holding up financially with all the tough times they're going through. Sierra ponders the guildmaster's words and realizes she's got a golden opportunity for revenge. No way she's letting that one slide. Later on, while she's in her office buried in paperwork, Sierra gets an unexpected visit from the family's head steward, who shows up with a big request. The steward tells her it's a crucial request for him, and she needs to hear him out properly. Turns out, the family is desperate for a bunch of essential stuff. Food, luxury goods, alcohol, clothing, even medicine. And they need enough stock to cover 500,000 people for a full year. The steward's just in disbelief. What he just heard is totally shocking. He double-checks the numbers to make sure he got them right, and there's no mistake. But Sierra confirms it's definitely 500,000 people. No typo, no mistake. She says all the supplies need to head straight to the Rippleton territories. Those are the next stops on her list. The steward gets that their resource crisis is real. They're in serious dire need of all that stuff. Sierra lays down the law. Get the supplies moving immediately with 0 delays, or else things are going to get really ugly. The steward promises to get all the goods to Arden within 3 days. No excuses, no delays. Cut to short, Sierra sets up a trip to the lands where her new target's living. She's going in person to make sure it all goes down right. At one point, she pokes her head out the carriage window, but gets immediately scolded. This weather's a cold risk for sure. The knight warns that with good weather, the trip might have taken just half a day, but things are way trickier now. The rain's really taken a toll on the horses and riders. We're looking at way more time on the road than we planned. The rain quieted the usual noises, but it washed the air clean, so scents are clearer. That means we'll travel safer through the monster-infested forest. He cracks a joke about how monsters don't care how ready we are. To him, we're just a tasty snack. Sierra's caught off guard by his laid-back take on all this spooky stuff. It's like he's treating it like a joke, but the knight still urges her to close the windows. No sense risking a cold before they even get to their destination. She takes the hint, shuts the windows, and heads for a nap in the carriage while they push on toward Ripton territory. She never thought she'd actually start an adventure like this against Valetta. It's the kind of thing she used to think was impossible. This time, she's not backing down. Her mission's to win, and she knows there's no room for failure. She's out to make her ex-bestie, now full-on rival, eat her losses. Still, they manage to dodge monsters all the way. When they hit the halfway point of the mountain pass, the rain let up just in time to keep them on schedule. Sierra's thrilled to finally step foot on Ripton soil, and is all hyped for the showdown ahead. She flags down the knight riding alongside the carriage. "Hey, we actually reached Ripton lands yet?" The knight nods. "Been here loads of times. These lands haven't changed a bit." Sierra's stunned by the sight. So much for the rumors about this place being a ghost town. It's way more lively here. People are smiling and look genuinely happy, unlike the Empire's reports that painted these lands as totally abandoned. Even though basic supplies are often scarce here, this happy place is the result of the Ripples' hard work to let their people live happy lives. Finally, they arrive, and a knight helps Sierra down from the carriage, guiding her to the next stop. She can't tear her eyes away from the Duke's castle. The sight of it is majestic. The castle is seriously tall and grand. It looks like a tower piercing the sky. This was her first time seeing a real castle. Before now, she'd only seen it in pictures and descriptions. It's so massive and imposing, it actually looks bigger than the Imperial Palace itself. The butler steps up to Sierra, greeting her politely and thanking her for coming all this way to visit their lands. Sierra apologizes for the sudden visit, but agrees to follow the butler inside to discuss important matters. The butler offers to take her straight to the head of the family, the big shot himself. Even with the castle's grand exterior, the inside was surprisingly modest. No paintings in the main hall, which caught Sierra off guard. She also notices the staff numbers are way lower than other places she's seen. It's got her thinking. They finally reach their destination, and the butler lets Sierra know to enter the study. The big meeting's waiting. Sierra's on edge. This meeting could shape her future, and she's ready to make her move. She steps into the study where Arden Ripples is already waiting. Time for a serious talk. Arden turns to the girl, noting how far she's come, and finally greets her after looking away from the window. He's surprised she took so long and asks how her journey went. The girl bows politely, greeting the man with graceful, respectful movements. She speaks softly but clearly, emphasizing her deference. She says it's an honor to finally meet Rippleton, especially since this is their first official meeting. Sierra's excited. She's been waiting for this moment. Arden tells her to sit, then immediately orders the butler and servants out. He wants privacy to discuss things without prying ears. He walks to the window, stunned by the 8 supply wagons now on the castle grounds. They're loaded with grain, medicine, clothes, alcohol, and delicacies. Clearly impressive. He returns to the girl, sitting across from her on the couch. He frowns slightly, clearly caught off guard by her unexpected gesture. Sierra waits for him to ask about the sudden visit, but Arden shocks her by asking what tea she likes. She wasn't expecting that. Instead of questioning the wagons, Rippleton randomly asks about her favorite tea. Sierra's baffled. What does that have to do with anything? This throws her completely. She was ready for a serious question, not something so strange. Her mind scrambles for a response. She politely declines tea, explaining she doesn't understand the question and doesn't want to distract him from the real talk. Her calm face betrays a flicker of confusion. Finally, Arden asks what's in those wagons and why she suddenly showed up with such gifts. He stares at her, waiting for answers. Sierra says their presence, hopes they'll be appreciated and useful. She's confident they'll help his household and that his family will value her gesture. Arden is stunned, but not annoyed. He realizes the gifts are practical and meaningful, not just a random act. Sierra apologizes for the awkwardness at the ball, offering the items without suspicion. Her sincere apology aims to diffuse tension. Arden zeroes in on her remark, noting she didn't hear anything at the ball. His gaze sharpens, probing her for the truth. Sierra thinks faking it would have been better than laying all her cards on the table back then. But now that things are clearer, she's ready to actually apologize and explain herself. Still not sure why she's dredging up that day. Could have stayed buried. But now she's stuck with it, since everything's tangled up with her current plans. Lady Brillixen thinks she can score by hooking up with the Rippleton clan, so she took this step to build connections for her own gain and future. Duke's expression goes icy. He cuts right to the chase, asking what kind of deal she's offering. Tone's dead serious. No time for chit-chat. She lays out that the Rippletons haven't seen a hand from the Bosbins in ages, and she knows the nitty-gritty of the contract between their families. Spilling the beans, hoping he'll back her, she gets up from the couch, struts over to Arden, and drops a bomb. Wants him to be her husband. Not just a favor, full-blown mutual benefit. Out of nowhere and ballsy as hell. Never saw this coming. She didn't plan to ask for his help like this. Not even on her radar. Rippleton's totally lost. Proposal hits like a ton of bricks, gaping like a fish out of water. Doesn't know if he should laugh, cry, or run for the hills. Sierra's throwing a contract on the table. She's got her eye on the possible war brewing between his family and the Bosbins. Smells an opportunity for her own play. Contract hits a snag, and Rippleton's standing goes down the toilet. Could tank his deals and family ties. Sierra knows this is a high-stakes gamble. He tried talking Valetta down to dodge trouble and keep things steady, but clearly, plan failed hard. Sierra's offering to handle the supply herself, stepping in to be the wild card that could tip the scales in their favor. Arden's all over it, needs to know her real angle. Something's off, and he's got that hunter's instinct she's keeping secrets. She tries to brush it off with a laugh, like, does it even matter? But her chuckle's all forced. She knows this is the big one. She's in. Will keep Rippleton stocked every year, but only if he picks her. No buts, even if some hotshot offers him a better deal. If he swears to stay loyal to Sierra when she needs him, that'll be enough. He'll stick to his word no matter what. He hands her a letter from the Bosbin family, filled with key details about their relationship, and offers the family wants to discuss. She unfolds the letter to read it carefully, trying to figure out exactly what they're demanding from her. The letter says they can't meet the contract terms and want to delay or cancel it, putting Sierra in a tough spot, forcing her to make a decision that could shape her future. Duke Bosbin loves his daughter so much, he can't argue with her wishes, no matter how hard his family's situation gets. He'll back her no matter what she chooses. Because of that selfless love, the Rippleton family had to beg for help from other clans for 5 years straight, which wrecked their status and made every choice even harder. Sierra's furious that millions are starving while the Bosbons don't care about anyone but themselves. Their selfishness disgusts her. At that moment, Rippleton finally realizes Sierra despises them, and it stabs him deep. He's been trying to justify their actions this whole time. Later, they stroll around the castle. Arden offers to cook dinner if she's hungry, trying to be sweet, but she's barely interested. She thanks him, but says she's not hungry. She knows now's not the time to talk about food, not with her head full of other stuff. She blushes under his intense stare. He's studying her, and starts to feel uneasy. His scrutiny feels like it's peering into her private thoughts. Turns out, he thought she turned down dinner because she's dieting. That makes Sierra cringe, even though her real reason was nothing like that. Still, she's not hungry right now. No need to worry. This isn't about her looks. It's about how she's feeling inside. Arden exhales in relief, and they keep walking slowly, exchanging rare but warm words, enjoying the quiet. Sierra decides to ask why the castle has so little staff. It's obvious right away, and the idea that such a huge place runs on so few people baffles her. Sure, it's a simple lack of budget, and while that makes sense, Sierra's confused. She thinks the situation could have easily been fixed. She's shocked they're in such bad financial shape that the Duke openly admits they had to cut staff, showing his vulnerability. Sierra suggests hiring more people, but Arden figures that's not the top priority right now. There are bigger issues to tackle first, even if it doesn't sit well with her. First things first, some parts of the castle need repairs. Half the rooms are in terrible shape, so fixing them comes first. Sierra gets it. Running this place on a tight budget is a struggle. Money issues are dragging down the whole family's quality of life and work performance. Still, she's confident her help can bring in more staff and solve the main problems. Her organization skills could turn things around. But then Rippleton chuckles and teases her, saying she already acts like the mistress, highlighting how deep she's gotten into the mess despite her doubts. It flusters her, because she didn't realize her actions would read like she's already running the whole household. It's a habit. Back home, she always grilled the butler during reports, and she can't shake the instinct, even here in a new role. He just laughs it off, amused by how seriously she's taken the place. He didn't expect a lady to care so much about these gritty local problems. He leads her to a room they keep up regularly, and says it's perfect for her to rest. It's always in good shape. He'll assign a maid just in case, to make sure she's comfortable if she needs anything extra. She thanks him, but asks not to assign anyone else. She's got her own servant who can handle everything for her. Arden wishes her a good night, keeping it formal but polite, even if the words feel stiff. Sierra insists he call her by name. She won't be some faceless figure here. She wants real casual conversations, not cold formality. Then, with a warmer smile, he gives in to her request, showing he respects her wishes and is willing to put in the work to make things flow better between them. Later in her room, Sierra thinks back to how her parents were super worried during her engagement to Leighton last time. They couldn't make decisions based just on her emotions. They kept pushing her to question if he truly loved her, since their love and care for their daughter made them doubt her choices. She figures this time might be the same. Her parents won't budge on their views about her future husband just based on some formalities. The city she plans to move to with her husband has a bad reputation in the Empire. so maybe her folks' opinions won't shift, and they'll keep second-guessing her pick. She's curious how her new engagement, especially the marriage contract, will hit her family, knowing it could be the turning point. Talking in the office, they discussed the marriage contract being all cold and transactional, both using each other, which highlights the cynical side of their deal. Arden wants to know how Sierra will handle things if Duke Bosbin finds out about their engagement, even though the family contract isn't off the table yet, which could kick up more trouble. Sierra's like, the Duke can just declare that Bosbin dragged their feet on the contract for 5 years, and his letter's an official cancellation notice. Rippleton's got to think about it, but he nods, figuring that's the smart move in their tricky situation. Sierra's like, there's one thing he's got to do, and it's not about how he looks or how good he is at his duties. It's about a bigger move. Specifically, he's got to be the most magnetic guy around, drawing people in not just with looks, but with his strength, charisma, and confidence to crush any obstacles. And most importantly, don't fall for Lady Bosbin. She's a manipulator who could mess with his fate, so he can't let her become the reason he feels anything. Otherwise, everything's at risk. Because once she learns about their connection, she'll swoop in, start playing mind games, and mess up their plans, throwing everything into chaos. Valietta's gonna want her fiancé back just to mess with him and do whatever it takes to make Rippleton lose everything he's built, without any real reason. Ripton figures the contract's tied to Valetta somehow, and it might be the only way to stop her from pulling more strings and keep things from spiraling. But if that's true, Sierra's in trouble. Valietta's lost all her power and influence, so she can't mess with their relationship like before. Valietta's the kind of woman who coldly ditched him when he was struggling, and her actions? They scream selfishness and zero care for anyone she's done with. The socialite queen bee everyone treats like an angel just got dumped by Duke Ripton, and for Sierra, that's a win. Now she can use this to boost her own standing. But Arden's trying to figure out if Sierra's got an inferiority complex from her friend. Maybe because she's stuck competing with women who've got way more clout and strength. One of them acts like a total pig, spitting out all her dislike and arrogance, while the others chill and calm, even with her power and confidence. Sierra just hopes she's not the pig here. She doesn't want people seeing her as gross or repulsive, even if she knows others' opinions are hard to control. Ripton just laughs it off. He's not ready to dive into heavy stuff, knowing it'll stir up bad vibes. So he cracks a joke to lighten the mood. Time to sign the deal, and the air's thick with tension. This moment's huge for their future, and both know their choice will decide everything. Sierra drops a quote from some politician, which shocks Arden. She's so damn sure of herself, twisting other people's ideas to back her own moves. And it makes him think. Sierra says trust has to come first before big decisions. Without mutual respect and honesty, any deal's just empty and won't get them anywhere. Ripton scans the contract Sierra drafted. He sees a ton of flaws, but he gets its key for their next steps. He notices the compensation amount's a bit inflated, and that could cause future headaches. Over-the-top demands just breed resentment. But Sierra thinks it's got to be high enough to stop betrayal. Only then can she be sure the Riptons are serious and ready to stick to the terms. If the Riptons double-cross her, they'll be bankrupt. This deal's their last shot to avoid financial ruin and save their reputation, so the stakes are sky high. Yeah, the terms are a total bummer for Arden, and he knows signing up for this could really put him in a tight spot. But it might be the only way to secure long-term stability. She laughs, like he's already planning to betray her before they even start working together, and that moment eases the tension a bit, even though things are still super serious. The amount she picked was deliberate, after her ex-husband wrecked everything they built. Now she's hyper-focused on every move, determined not to repeat past mistakes. Arden's hands are shaking as he finishes reading the contract, knowing this thing could reshape their future. His heart's pounding because the stakes are huge, and his decision means everything. He's got to protect his lands and his people, and money's the only leverage he's got. This deal is massive. His family's future, his territory, it's all on the line. But then he signs the papers without flinching, hands steady. He knows this is a must-do move, and he can't afford to second-guess himself. She takes the papers, sees he signed everything, and feels like a weight just lifted. They're entering a new phase now, where every action they take will define their future. She gives back her copy, double-checking every detail, and once it's all set, she exhales like she just crossed a major finish line. Rippleton's got to admit, she's way more than just a pretty face. She's got strategy in her DNA, and that's earned his respect. Sierra smirks, her plan's finally rolling, and she knows the hard part's just getting started. But she's ready to face whatever comes next. This is the first time she's gone solo. No Valette hanging over her shoulder. That freedom? It's giving her the confidence she needs to take on the world. She's got no doubt Valette's gonna flip her lid. Jealousy and control issues could turn into a serious threat. But Sierra's already thinking steps ahead. No matter how Valette reacts, Sierra's gonna savor this. She knows her moves aren't going unnoticed, and she's achieved exactly what she needed to move forward. This small step kicks off her big plan. And now that the contract's signed, she's riding the momentum like it's her own. 4 days later, Sierra's back home, soaking in a bath, and reflecting on how this moment changed everything. She's on the right track now, and she's not stopping until she gets where she wants. The maid notices the girl's mood shift and asks if something good happened, since she's been way more cheerful and energetic lately than usual. The girl thinks maybe her upbeat vibe is because she's been waiting so long for the moment she can finally put her carefully thought-out plan into action. But before she can finish thinking, a voice cuts through from the main room, snapping her out of her head and forcing her to focus on what's going on. Stepping into the room, she realizes it's Valetta who dropped by. Needs to get ready to meet up with her friend. This visit feels important, like it demands her full attention. Sierra walks over, a little surprised. "What's up? Why show up unannounced? We always plan these things ahead of time." Valetta's sitting on the couch, arms crossed, face all scrunched up in irritation. Her eyes say she's waiting for Sierra to explain. Right now, she leans forward, cutting straight to the chase. "You lied about the necklace, didn't you? Said that specific gem could only be found on one island, but turns out there's nothing there." Sierra replies, "That gem's super rare. I had to go there myself. If I'd sent someone else, they'd probably just pretend they didn't know anything." But Valetta's not buying it. She's certain none of her people, especially her close ones, would ever lie to her family. Can't believe someone actually dared to pull this. Still, Sierra plays dumb, like she's never heard of this gem before. Doesn't want to show she's interested, keeping her cool as if it's all new to her. She sips her tea calmly, trying to mask the tension. Acts like this whole thing doesn't affect her, mind clearly on something else. Then Sierra says, "I heard that, yeah, but I don't have any more details. That's all I know." Adds that the info came from her master, Ezekiel Ross. Says he's the one who told her everything she can pass along. Valetta narrows her eyes, pressing again. "You're sure he actually said that? I can't wrap my head around this. Need to make sure it's not some kind of mistake." Sierra senses the conversation's turning and starts playing the victim, acting like she's really torn up about accidentally lying. But of course, it's all part of the game. Valetta lets out a heavy sigh, knowing there's no turning back now. She accepts the lie she's been told, realizing her plans won't go the way she thought they would. Lucky for her, Valetta doesn't know yet that the necklace actually contains rarer gems she should have studied, but she hasn't noticed that key detail. Sierra decides to mess with her friend, teasing her to build up the anticipation. She stretches the conversation just enough to keep Valetta guessing and watch how she reacts to the next twist. She leans in and tells Valetta she's had this big secret to share for ages, but kept putting it off. This stuff is personal, and it makes her uneasy. She admits it's a little awkward, and she's not sure how Valetta will take it. That kind of confession usually happens in super close relationships, not over coffee with friends. The girl finally drops it. She's been eyeing a guy lately. The news hits her like a blush, because she's not the type to talk about crushes, especially not with Valetta. Valietta's whole face lights up. Her hands tremble with excitement, because a love confession from Sierra is the kind of drama she lives for. But Sierra's thinking. In her head, that guy is still Leighton. Valetta can't see him as anyone else, even if Sierra's ready to rewrite her own story. Valetta can't hide her eagerness. Her eyes are practically begging for more, and she's already reaching for popcorn to watch the show. Sierra stays coy, saying she knows who the guy is, but isn't spilling beans yet. She's still sorting through her feelings, and wants to wait before dragging anyone into her chaos. Valetta bristles, annoyed she's not in on the secret. She's always been honest with Sierra. Why is it different now? And the holdout makes her feel like a side character in her own life. Sierra softens a bit, explaining she's just not confident about her head yet. She needs time to untangle what she's feeling before she's ready to talk about it. Valetta keeps pushing, trying to pry, but Sierra cuts her off. "I'll tell you when I'm good and ready," she snaps, not interested in filling the gap with guesses. Sierra's jaw tightens, her eyes hardening. She hates keeping secrets, but this one's sticking with her for now, no matter how much it's gnawing at her. This time, though, Sierra makes it clear. Even though they're tight, there's a line of trust that shouldn't be crossed, or their friendship might end up in the trash. She's feeling a bit worn out and has to ask Valetta to leave her house, explaining she needs some alone time to recharge after this tense chat that's really taking a toll on her. Valetta, snapping her mask back on, agrees to leave, though her face still gives off irritation, and her eyes flicker with a touch of hurt from being sent away. After Valietta's gone, Sierra's left alone, and the maid, fidgeting a bit, asks if she was too hard on her friend. She clearly came expecting more from their reunion. Sierra, raising an eyebrow at the maid, says her actions were totally justified. Leaving her friend in the dark, without more answers, doesn't feel too harsh to her. The maid, realizing she's overstepped, starts backtracking, but still insists that as a friend, Sierra could have been more upfront about the question eating at her. This kind of pushback is actually useful. It keeps the spotlight off Sierra's real motives, which could draw suspicion and mess up her plans. She can't afford to raise red flags too fast. It might blow her cover and tie her hands before she's ready. Her bond with Aiden's still on thin ice, and that uncertainty means she's got to tread extra carefully. She can't just cold shoulder Valetta without a reason. It'd start rumors that could tank her reputation, so she's got to lay down the rules for dealing with Valetta and move fast to ditch the spies she's planted in the estate before things spiral. Meanwhile, at the Rippleton estate, folks are unloading the Brillican's cargo. This isn't just a delivery, it's a powder keg that could shake up the whole region. Rippleton's watching from the window, taking stock of the chaos and trying to map out his next play. The castle's a beehive of activity. Everyone's scrambling to prep for some major event, and the whole place is buzzing with tension. Aiden's secretary steps up and drops a bombshell. This whole mess is because of Sierra's haul. She's the real wildcard here. He did a deep dive for Arden, and now he's here to spill the beans. Details that could totally change the game. He studied Sierra and her family, concluded that despite their wealth, they're untainted and unconnected to political ambitions, which makes their position more advantageous. Their influence really shines in mining stones and mana unique to the mountain range they control, giving them a huge edge in that business. Because of this, the Mages Association unofficially protects the Brillican family, which bolsters their standing and gives them extra resources to protect their interests. Plus, when it comes to Valetta and Sierra, people see them as just friends, letting them keep control and avoid unwanted attention. Sierra helped the troubled Valetta since childhood, and through that bond, Valetta started becoming self-assured and changing, which shifted their relationship. But over time, they became too similar, in looks and mannerisms, which drew attention and started rumors. They wore matching dresses and shoes, styled their hair the same way, and the rumors turned against Sierra, sparking more questions from everyone around them. Arden thinks she doesn't seem like someone who copies others, and that matters to him because it makes her more independent and self-reliant. Before the rumors, people spoke of Sierra as bold and driven, helping her keep respect and act confidently. He knows his question about insecurity might have really hurt her, so now he needs to apologize, or at least explain his intentions. But now new rumors are spreading that directly target Arden and his reputation, making it a key factor in their future. These rumors revolve around a key issue that could impact Arden's political future and his interactions with others. Specifically, that Arden plans a political marriage with the Bosbin family, which raises questions among those watching his moves. The rumors reach Sierra, who's terrified because this could wreck her plans and destroy everything she's worked for. She double-checks with a servant about who's marrying whom, and they say it's Lady Valetta and Rippleton, which only confuses Sierra more. Rumors about their political marriage started popping up, and Sierra can't figure out why they're spreading now, especially when her own plans are finally starting to come together. She asks the maid where she heard it, and it turns out the rumor came from another servant, which just makes things even more confusing. Sierra's super annoyed these rumors are out there because they could trash her reputation and mess up her carefully laid plans. She tells the girl to leave her alone so she can think this through and come up with a way to take control of the situation. She's thinking Valetta might be the one spreading this on purpose, but can't figure out what the real goal is or what she's trying to achieve. Maybe he doesn't want to keep Ripton all to himself, but he also doesn't want someone else taking it, since that'd make it less special and all his hard work pointless. Or maybe the Duke planned the rumor to stir up drama, see how the players in this game react, and which side they'll pick. These rumors will eventually hit the Bosbins, forcing them to step in, and Sierra will have to be way more careful not to get dragged into something even riskier than she expected. Some time passes, and since Arden still hasn't replied, Sierra decides to take action and head to the ball, hoping to dig up answers there. He had plenty of time to make a choice and let her know, and maybe he even changed his mind about the marriage and their future, but no reply ever came. Sierra's decided if he breaks the contract or even tries to pull a fast one, she won't wait around. She'll find a way to punish him, even if it means breaking his arm to get her control back. She lets the knight help her out of the carriage, figuring it's standard protocol, but still feels like she's relying on others just to stay in charge. That's how she ends up at Bladia's estate, where a big party's about to go down, and she's there to sniff out intel and see what kind of rumors are floating around high society. Even though she told Valetta she wouldn't go, now that she realizes she's missing key info, she realizes attending is a must. Valletta's also curious if her crush will show up, and Sierra finds herself wondering how that'll affect their future and what'll happen if she actually does turn up. Sierra walks into the ballroom, and suddenly every eye is on her. She catches on fast. Being the center of attention here isn't always a good move. A guest waves her over. Sierra turns, catching sight of Valetta strutting in with a grin that instantly lights up the room. Yep, it's Valetta. Same dress style Sierra picked, and now the whole crowd's doing double takes. Same taste? Coincidence? Not so sure anymore. Valetta bounces over, all smiles. Sierra, so glad to see you here. Her enthusiasm cuts the tension. Meanwhile, Leighton steps in, polite as pie. Lady Brillixen, he says, clearly trying to make a good first impression. Marquise Bladia's still got that "I remember what you did" vibe. His presence, all civil on the outside, stirs up old grudges she's still carrying. Still, Sierra forces a smile and thanks him for the invite. She knows she's got to play nice, even if every part of her wants to ditch the charade. Later, clutching a drink in the hall, Sierra's lost in thought. Last few days drama loops in her head as she tries to figure her next move. Marquis Bladia, her ex, isn't wasting time flirting with Valetta. She tries to brush it off, joking about being too drunk at the last party to read the script. Sierra's not digging the third-degree treatment. Marquise's chatter's drowning out the real stuff she needs to focus on. Valietta's glued to her side, so Sierra can't catch any of the gossip floating around. Always deep in conversation, never a free minute to hear what's really going down. She also can't spot her guy anywhere. That's a red flag. She was sure they'd meet up here. Out of nowhere, Valetta says she'll be right back. Sierra's got a bad feeling. Her friends definitely got plans to leave her alone for a reason. Sierra didn't catch the conversation, so she's clueless where Valietta's gone. Her friend ditching her like this? That's just weird. Right then, Leighton's back on the offensive, trying to hit on her again. Sierra? She's barely listening, her mind racing elsewhere. He steps closer, explaining they haven't chatted since the greeting, then starts laying on the compliments to get under her skin and make himself memorable. Sierra cuts straight to the chase, asking if he liked chatting with Valetta, fishing for his real take on what's going on. Leighton chuckles nervously, assures her both chats were great, happy to talk with her and her friend, hoping his words will land right with Sierra. But Sierra's barely listening, her mind elsewhere as she watches the dancers and pieces together the evening's puzzle. She keeps watching, then spots Valetta still off the dance floor. Sierra turns to the Marquis, suggesting he cut in for the first dance to shake things up. Just as Sierra zones out, Valetta reappears, all business, telling her she took care of some urgent business. No sooner does Valetta show up than Marquis Bladia's on her tail, grinning, asking for a dance. No way he's letting this chance slip. Flustered, Valetta realizes her plan's half-baked. She glares at Sierra, who's smirking, and knows she's stuck. Sierra's already nudging her onto the floor. The pair hit the dance floor as the room pulses with music. They get swept up in the energy, blending into the swirling crowd. Meanwhile, Lady Brillixen watches from the balcony, memories flooding back of how these balls used to feel. Different, heavier, laced with something deeper. The memories hit her like a gut punch, resurfacing old wounds as if time never passed. She can't shake the ghosts of the past. Sierra fights to push the past away, but the pain always creeps back, a shadow she can't outrun. Turning away from the chaos, Sierra heads for the balcony, anywhere but here, away from the noise and glitter. She needs the open air to clear her head, trading the party's chaos for the cold balcony's quiet. As she passes a side door, she catches snippets about Lady Bosbin and Duke Rippleton's upcoming wedding. The news twists in her gut, stirring up unease. Long story short, no matter how much she tried to avoid the rumors, the wedding news was expected, and she knows it's basically just a matter of time before all this becomes real. These rumors get more irritating by the second. Their intensity grows, and with it, her annoyance starts hurting her personally. She starts remembering again the moment when people first started saying she was copying Valetta, though the truth was the other way around, and she was trying to be herself, but no one believed her. Sierra feels how she was humiliated and seen as pitiful. Many thought she was just mimicking others' actions and tastes, and that feeling has lingered with her for a long time. To her, everything still feels murky and dark, and it's hard to shake the thought that her life's still not free from the past's shadows. The time when she couldn't find true freedom. Trying to maintain the image of calmness and independence, she pretends the gossip doesn't touch her at all. But it really stings, deep down. But just when she's struggling, someone who clearly can't leave her alone steps in, yet also insists she shouldn't worry about the rumors, calling them senseless barking and telling her not to waste energy on it. He keeps telling her not to take the rumors to heart, saying they're just words that don't deserve a second thought, and she shouldn't let them mess with her inner peace. As it turns out, that person is Arden Rippleton, who suddenly shows up at the ball, and his words about the rumors not only calm her, but give her confidence. These are just petty details not worth her time. Sierra feels a wave of relief when she sees the Duke of Rippleton actually made it to the ball. Her soul fills with peace, and that nagging inner voice that's been tormenting her finally quietens down. The moment Arden appears by her side, all her anxious thoughts vanish, and she feels deep relief, every doubt and fear just melting away instantly. But even with her relief, Sierra can't help feeling a genuine stab, muttering that a dramatic entrance like a novel's hero isn't really her style, trying to play it cool. The Duke of Rippleton smirks, offering his apologies, explaining he had to handle some business before joining the ball, and expresses regret for not contacting her sooner. He explains the carrier pigeon issues caused his silence, and that due to the danger to the birds, he couldn't send a message on time, which kind of confuses Sierra, since she didn't know about these problems. The carrier pigeon didn't make it to Rippleton and faced danger. Apparently, if these birds flew overhead, they could become easy prey for monsters. That makes her embarrassed. She didn't know about this before. She feels embarrassed she didn't know about it, and a little awkward, since to her it sounds like an excuse she's stuck dealing with now, even if it feels a bit weird. After explaining, Arden invites Sierra to dance, hoping this move will help her forget all the little stresses and tension building up tonight. Sierra's still flustered by the offer, because she figures dancing would just spark new rumors people will gossip about, while she needs to focus on what to do about Bosbin. Arden smirks, saying she was all bold about wanting to belong to him, yet now she's fretting over a few rumors, putting her in a tough spot. But he keeps the conversation going anyway. He adds that dancing with someone at a ball isn't scandalous, and her worries about rumors seem overblown, even calling her a wimp, making her think about his words. Arden extends his hand again, inviting her to dance, showing his determination and convincing her this isn't a moment to hesitate and miss out on enjoying the moment. She can't figure out why Arden's so dead set on dancing, since she's still unsure where he stands or if the Valetta rumors were spread by his side. She's scared of being betrayed again, like in her past life, and can't shake the fear that all her hopes will be in vain, leading to disappointment. Arden notices her confusion, sighs, shakes his head like he gets her inner turmoil, but doesn't dwell on it, telling her to just chill out. Meanwhile, Sierra's totally lost in her thoughts, unable to shake them, and her attention's completely taken over by memories, emotions, and fears she can't get past. He calls her by name, instantly reminding her of their pact that using each other's names would be a sign of trust and understanding, proving their closeness and bond. Arden can't just walk away from his duty to protect Rippletown. It's his responsibility, and bankruptcy isn't an option, especially since the fallout could be catastrophic for everyone connected to him. So, even if he had the urge to betray Sierra or go against her, those thoughts couldn't be acted on because his duty and obligations to the people he's tied to wouldn't let him break his promises. Unexpectedly, this practical, pretty cold approach, however unromantic it seems, ends up calming Lady Brillickson, because she knows his actions will be driven by necessity, not emotions. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, many guests and partygoers are watching Valetta and Leighton, who glide through the dance with grace and elegance, drawing attention with their harmony and almost perfect moves. But the main character's sudden appearance on stage sparks a sudden wave of chatter and hushed whispers, which doesn't go unnoticed, and it catches the attention of Valetta herself, who can't hide her growing interest. She flinches, surprise widening her eyes, as she instantly locks onto the chaos erupting around her, taking in every reaction to this unexpected turn of events. Valetta watches as her friend Sierra, beaming with affection and obvious joy, walks hand in hand with her fiancé. And something about this moment hits Valetta like a thunderclap. Valetta can't hold back her startled reaction, calling out Sierra's name. The moment Sierra hears it, she immediately locks eyes with her, making Valetta feel like this is more than just a casual moment between them. This is huge. Sierra grins like a lovesick schoolgirl, her expression and gestures practically yelling about the guy she'd been talking up, confirming every word and feeling she's had. This revelation hits Valetta like a gut punch. Her whole plan is unraveling, and the confidence she'd been clinging to is already slipping through her fingers. Meanwhile, Sierra catches Arden's reaction and leans in, muttering how she heard he hates being the center of attention, how he always ditches dances. This whole thing is giving her the heebie-jeebies. But Arden's got a different take. The spotlight's a weapon here. He needs to show Rippletown isn't just a name people ignore, but a symbol of something big and powerful. To make that clear, he's got to own the dance floor and prove he can handle the spotlight for a reason bigger than himself. But Arden's not amused. Sierra's giggles prick at his pride, and he's got to bite back the irritation bubbling under his skin. He cuts to her, deadpan. "You didn't think I'd show up here, did you?" The words land like a punch to her gut, mixing awkwardness with a weird spark of intrigue. Still, Sierra can't shake the nagging worry that Arden doesn't take their contract as seriously as she does. It's gnawing at her, harder with every passing second. Arden hears the doubt in her voice, and his mind races. What would Sierra do if he flat out ignored her? What kind of mess would that make of everything? Sierra, fed up, clenches his shoulder hard enough to make him wince. Her strength and determination hit him harder than any slap ever could. Then, inches from his face, she whispers, "You'd know the strength of a rejected woman's fury, wouldn't you?" Her voice is low, but the threat in it is undeniable. The Duke, flustered, doesn't immediately grasp what she means, and his confusion only tightens the tension between them, making everything feel more mysterious and charged. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, Valietta's allies start muttering about Sierra and Arden's dance, baffled how the two could end up so close, and why they're even dancing together. Some point them out with finger jabs, scratching their heads over what the hell that means. gossiping openly about it with no effort to hide their shock or annoyance. Valetta, as always, can't resist kicking off a drama scene, declaring these two are meant for each other, like there's some deep, hidden connection she can't ignore. Valletta's girls blush at her over-the-top reaction, but not all of them buy into her angle. Some start side-eyeing her conclusions and questioning her whole vibe. One of the girls snaps, calling this a problem, since Sierra clearly wants to steal his guy too, crossing some serious personal lines and messing with Valletta's goals. They try to calm her down, but she's too fired up, convinced something shady's going on, like there's a secret power struggle hiding under the surface. The way Sierra and Arden smile warmly at each other while dancing, it's throwing everyone off. People start whispering, this feels way bigger than just a dance. To most here, it looks like Lady Brilixin just swiped the Grand Duke right out from under Lady Bazan, and the whole room's energy just went nuclear. If this keeps up, Lady Bazan's gonna look like a total loser, adding major heat to both sides and turning the whole mess into a war zone. Valetta is stunned by the reaction, smirking but holding her ground, carefully keeping her cool to protect her reputation. She challenges the room. Do you all really see our friendship like that? Her tone is sharp, like she already knows the answer, but's daring them to say it out loud. Rumors about their dynamic are already spreading, and it's crystal clear this whole mess is being weaponized to stir up drama and fuel the gossip mill. But straight up insulting her bestie in front of her? That's ballsy, and she decides people like that don't deserve a seat at her table. After that, she yanks one of her girls out of her inner circle, on the spot, for slandering Sierra, refusing to let it slide without a price. The girl's screaming and begging for forgiveness, insisting she never meant to insult Lady Bosbin, but the hurt's already too much to take. But Valetta strides off without looking back, head held high, leading her loyalists away. She ignores the apologies and excuses. One of her subordinates watches the scene, then asks if Lady Bosbin's all right, wondering if this situation's sitting right with her. Lady Bosbin forces a calm mask, acting like nothing's bothering her, even as tension tightens the air. Her trusted aide starts suspecting there's more layers to Lady Bosbin than she lets on, but decides to keep her suspicions to herself. Valletta's seething now, her anger swelling into a full-blown storm. Someone just dared to insult Sierra? Those words strike a nerve, tugging at a wound she didn't even know was still open. Meanwhile, Sierra and Arden are chilling over snacks, chatting and relaxing, totally oblivious to the tension brewing around them. Valetta walks in a beat late, cuts straight to the table where Sierra and Arden are sitting. Sierra notices her approach, offers a polite smile. Nothing extra, no hidden emotions. Valetta speaks to Arden. He replies with his usual flat tone, no emotion in his voice. Lady Bosbin tilts her head, voice laced with faint mockery. Didn't expect to find you two in the same room. Her doubt lingers between the words. She leans in, curiosity sharp. Is the guy who's had Sierra's attention all along really Arden Rippleton? The question hangs heavy between them, but Sierra cuts in, voice direct. Did you hear the rumors? That you and Arden got married, dear friend? She says she doesn't want to hurt you, but the rumors are spreading, and she needs to know what's real. Right now, Sierra knows the cards are stacking in her favor, no matter what Valetta says. Her words can either shoot down the rumors or make them worse. If Valetta claims the rumors are baseless, her link to the Duke stays clean. But if she backs him up, both girls get dragged deeper into the mess. Valetta's playing her part, acts like she's never heard the rumors and has no clue what they're about. Keeps up that whole innocent act. She makes a point. Arranged marriages are normal, no need for mutual consent. Her parents never spilled the beans, so she can't give a straight answer on this. Valetta's cool on the outside, but she's not as simple as she looks. Her sharp eyes never let her relax in a situation like this. Still, she insists she wouldn't take it personal if Arden and Sierra danced, assuming the marriage rumors are true. Shows her calm on the matter. She smiles lightly, tells Sierra not to stress over it, says it's not a problem for her, no matter what's really going on. Sierra smiles back, promises to remember her words. Valetta's still her best friend, and she respects that. Valetta knows Arden's the kind of guy who could stir up trouble in her neat little world, but she doesn't have the leverage to handle him yet. But she decides to sit this out for now. No clear way to deal with all the issues he brings, yet. After a quick mental check, Valetta says her goodbyes and steps back. Leaves him alone for now, but her real plan's already in motion. She doesn't forget to order her inner circle to keep a close eye on Sierra's every move. Every tiny action gets reported back, so she can stay on top of things. Sierra smirks slightly, says all this mess is Rippleton's fault. Her own intentions? Pure as ever. Arden lets out a quiet sigh. Watching everything unfold, he feels the girl's eyes, second-guessing every choice he makes. Meanwhile, a nobleman storms into the hall, clearly annoyed. Forced to come, but now he's just another face in the crowd. But they start talking about Sierra, who's grown up a lot. The guy doesn't remember her, even though she was the ambassador at those army meetings. The old man Sierra invited to dinner has a ladies' evening planned, and he figures it'd be a good idea to bring the young guy along to spice things up a bit. The young man listens to the invite, thanks the hosts politely, and says he's not ready to join the dinner this time. But later, he shows up at the dinner unannounced, surprising everyone since he'd flat out said no earlier. Castian introduces himself to Sierra, throwing her for a loop because she never expected to run into him here, and this random reunion messes with her head. Castian was a duke in her past life, running the military industry to shape the kingdom's strength and economy, stuff she only vaguely remembered. Sierra saw Castian once during his demotion and barely knew him. He avoided public events, sticking to palace walls instead. Castian apologizes for barging in, but explains his godfather insisted on hooking them up. Sierra might help his future plans. The Count jokes that Castian initially skipped the meeting. He smirks and says it out loud, making Castian blush because this is awkward as hell. Sierra, realizing the drama's pointless, tells everyone to sit and, grinning, says they should cut to the serious stuff everyone's here for. When Sierra asks if they've met before, Castian says, "Our chats were always just formal stuff at the military council. We didn't really get to know each other." Since they share goals, Sierra brings up next month's council meeting, asking if they want to go over the details to prep for the big decisions. The Briluxon family always backed Castian's strategies, knowing their alliance was critical for political moves at the top level. The Count notices Castian's edge about Duke Pelia and flags possible issues. He asks Sierra to help untangle the mess so the plan stays solid. Briluxon's crew and Sierra's help will be the key to nailing it at the military council, where decisions can make or break the kingdom. Castian, realizing he needs to be more casual with Sierra, tries to get closer, but something suddenly catches her eye and interrupts the conversation. Sierra stops listening, glances off into the distance like she's trying to escape the awkward vibe. Finally, she thanks them both for the chat, but says she's got urgent stuff to handle and needs to bail this time. Winks, flashes a sweet smile, and suggests postponing dinner till she's got more time and mood for chatting. No awkward pauses. Castian, who just thought their chat would last way longer, is baffled by her rush, his face showing confusion and mild irritation. She walks out without a glance back, her footsteps fading softly, leaving Castian fuming and hurt, still not having properly talked to her. As Sierra nears the door, she runs into Arden, who is sure she'd exit later, both caught in an awkward moment. But spotting him, Sierra figures it's time to go, doesn't stick around, and opens the door, heading to him with a thank you for his patience. Grateful he waited, Sierra suggests a quick walk to clear her head, needing some air to process what just happened. She assures there's no problem with the council meeting ahead. Everything's pre-decided, and she's confident in their future involvement, no big hiccups expected. But Arden's worried she's still upset about the meeting with Valetta, trying to gauge her take on it. Sierra, picking up his nervous tone, asks what Arden thinks about their relationship and how he sees their future after everything. Arden's gaze turns serious. He takes off his coat, looks down thoughtfully at Sierra, and drapes it over her shoulders, leaving her slightly dazed by the tender move. Sierra, feeling both touched and flustered, can't hide her fluttering nerves. She didn't expect such warmth from him right now. Despite lingering doubts, Sierra decides that since Arden's here, she'll count him as an ally, ready to act together if needed. Even if he decides to use her for his own ends, she's confident she can handle it. She's got the strength and experience to not become someone's pawn. Sierra's learned her lesson: trust no one. People hide their real intentions, and she's always ready for the possibility of betrayal. Deep down, she knows Arden still needs to prove his loyalty and earn her trust. Only then will she be ready to open up completely. Rippleton's not pushing her with questions about what's going on. He prefers to back off and let her decide when and what to talk about. Smiling softly, Arden stays by Sierra's side. Moonlight lights up his face, creating a calm, steady vibe she's been craving in this moment. He made his choice. Now, despite everything that's happened, he's ready to follow his path. He knows he still needs to earn her trust, but this step was inevitable. No matter what anyone offers him, Arden will always pick Sierra. He knows his place is by her side, and he promises to be there when she needs him, no matter what. That's all Arden needs to know. For him, there's no other choice but to stand with her, protect her, and support her, no matter the circumstances. So he says he hopes their paths cross again. He's sure they'll meet again, even if it doesn't happen right away. He offers to help if she needs it, stressing he's always ready to step in if she feels like he should. Hearing her name from him makes her heart race. It feels personal, special, even if she's trying to stay cool on the outside. She calls out to him as he walks away, feeling like she needs to say something, but not knowing exactly what to stop him. He tells her not to trust Castian, warning her to stay sharp around him. Don't rely on his promises. He's got something sketchy about him. Polina's eldest son raises red flags. His behavior feels off, and his goals might not be what they seem at first glance. When asked why, he explains it's his gut. He's got a feeling there's more to that guy than just polished manners and a pretty face. Sierra lets out a soft laugh at his answer. He's such an unpredictable guy, always ready to go against everyone's expectations and not afraid to voice his opinions. But she genuinely hopes he proves her trust, because she senses something bigger behind his words than just science or politics. Valetta watches them from the manor window, silently tracking every move they make, not missing a single detail of what's happening. She can't hear what they're saying, but she sees them part ways and notices the smile on her friend's face, setting off strong suspicions in her gut. It stirs up her contempt and fury, because she can't stand the thought of Sierra being this happy with other people around. She remembers how everything in her life revolved around her since birth. No matter how hard others tried, all the attention always came back to her. Wealth, power, beauty, genius. It all gave her the confidence to know she'd always be on the pedestal, with everyone serving her. Once, they brought her a friend to connect with, and it was Sierra, a girl just like her. That shattered everything, throwing her life an unexpected challenge. Back at the Brillickson estate, Sierra's hunched over her desk, drowning in paperwork, and groaning about the unrelenting downpour, ruining her mood even more. Everything's focused on cleaning up the monsoon damage right now, but the workload's slowly easing, leaving more room for deep thinking. A maid approaches, asking if she wants more tea, trying to be helpful, and maybe win her over, so Sierra doesn't catch her shaking hands. Sierra waves off the tea, but snaps the maid to fetch the butler, someone she actually trusts to handle serious matters. Valletta's got her own spies keeping tabs on her, and they can't stick around anymore. She wants to overhaul part of the staff for tighter security and control. The butler tries to stop her. Most workers are still dealing with the disaster cleanup, and it'd be best to wait for the Countess to return. But Sierra's got zero patience for that. She says she's got full authority here, and if she wants her surroundings safe, she needs people she can trust. No exceptions, no slack. After that, she heads to the Brillickson Night Orders training grounds, chatting with the trainees to get their take on how things are going. She wants to know if the training areas are used on a schedule or by booking, since it's key to figure out if they're being used efficiently. The commander says he can't give a straight answer, because the schedule shifts every day based on a bunch of factors, and he can't be sure about the details. Sierra catches a fight between the knights and their leader, jumping in as things get heated and tempers flare. It's Mr. Gibson, yelling at Deputy Commander Gilbert, who was just promoted to the role, but already got the troops all riled up. Looks like this beef's been going on for a while, and Sierra starts to see it's not just a simple issue with all the tension in the air. Mr. Gibson was a total legend in her past life, so she's curious about Deputy Gilbert. What's really behind this clash? She says she wants to meet him, hoping a chat might clear up what's fueling the conflict. Meanwhile, we're back at Rippleton's estate. The house is quiet, but the vibe is tense. Arden's waiting for a big-time guest. Arden's guest has been waiting for an hour, but he's taking his sweet time wrapping up business before heading over. Rippleton's fuming, thinking he should have banned the Bosbins outright. Their presence is just stirring up trouble. Yep, the guest is Valetta. She's been sitting alone in the parlor, waiting for their meeting to go her way. When Arden arrives, he tells everyone to clear out except Lady Bosbin, making it clear he's only ready to have a serious talk with her. Since it's just a report, there shouldn't be any issues. Arden's sure no extra meddling is needed right now. She tries to tell him to lay off the harshness until the engagement's officially over. But Arden turns her own words back on her. No giving in. Valetta realizes Rippleton, who once had all the power, slipped away in an instant, and the Duke's attitude toward Bosbin has suddenly turned cold, threatening to wreck every move she's made. Naturally, it's all because of Sierra. Her presence in Arden's life is twisting his decisions, and Valletta's getting more and more paranoid about it. So she tries to use Sierra, warning Arden that dancing with her best friend will cause rumors and public shame, hoping to push him into taking her side. She says people are mocking Sierra for stealing her style and is trying to make Arden doubt her, turn him against her. The thought of being dragged into such dirty gossip makes her sick. She just wants him to play it smart, stay calm, and not fall for the tricks. Arden calls her ranting a total waste of time, snatches the report, and storms out, refusing to hear another minute of her whining and scheming. When she starts screaming she's not done talking, Rippleton dismisses her as a fool, coldly telling her Arden doesn't care about her empty threats. Rippleton says everything's obvious with Sierra around. Valetta can't even compare to her. Sierra's always been authentic, and that's her secret weapon. Sierra shines brighter than the backstabbing trash he thinks she is, because her honesty and chill vibe make her perfect in Arden's eyes.